So it's complete cap. And I would love to invite this brother on the show because we got the data. We got the data. We can show you how what Anna's saying and how she's retweeting a guy that really obviously is not educated enough on systematic racism in America.
Yeah, the day you invite him on the show, make sure that's my off day, brother, because and this is what I mean by not platforming these bastards. Because you can't deny what it means to be black in America. And the fact that Anna chose to post this person that she probably found because he was agreeing with her against us on our video talks further about where she finds herself on this spectrum of stupidity.
At the end of the day, a conversation, if we so choose to have a conversation with brother man here, brother George something is his name, black conservative on YouTube. If you all want to follow him, go support his little channel, whatever. That would be a conversation between black men. Anna Kasparian, white behind. Her inner saltine is leaping out by her going to scramble and find any black face that she can that agrees with her to pit them against us. Anna, you're a lot whacker than I ever thought.
Clickbaity political. Yeah. Thirst trap, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical. To speak the truth to the masses. Yeah. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it.
Hey, what's going on, Trap Squad? This is Pastor Ben. There's so much happening on your screen right now that I want to take a few seconds to break it down. On the far left-hand side is the main conversation between Marcus Farrell, Mayor Mundell Robinson, and myself. We're responding to this guy, a black conservative that Anna Kasparian is now promoting, as he responded to our viral video about Mayor Mundell Robinson quitting TYT, the Young Turks, because Jank and Anna are turning coat and going full MAGA, which is why you see two sets of us on the screen. It might be a bit confusing, but the most important thing is to listen to what we are saying. All right, let's go. Peace and love. Isn't it funny that the first thing Anna, it's so funny. My mother watched the video I made of TYT and she said, now who is this Anna Asparagus woman? I said, my God, today, Rosemary. But the first thing Anna Asparagus does is run and get a blackface that has her opinion. And where does she go? She goes to Black MAGA.
Being blessed enough to be born in the United States of America, having this mentality where you're telling yourself that you can't rise up or that you can't be successful due to the fact that the system's holding you down, when empirically speaking, we just know that's not true. Like, you have more opportunity here than any other place on earth. I think that, to me, in my opinion, is a mentality that is almost, I would say, almost put there on purpose.
Listen, guys, very simple, right? So trying to create the argument that institutionalized racism in America has been proven almost 1,000 times in this country by some of the best scholars, even conservative places have discovered that institutionalized racism is real. And this guy is arguing against it. Now, here's what I'm saying to you. A little work ethic and elbow grease is going to work for some of us. It's going to work for a lot of us. But for us to act like Wells Fargo didn't decide to give loans to white people over black people at 100-1.
Bank of America, community-wide, Navy Federal,
Why
redlining.
Hold on. Oh, we're not going to talk about redlining, but we could talk about redlining. We can talk about so many things in this country that was institutionalized, right? Government-funded programs that literally government-funded, not only practices by private entities, but government-funded. Now, here's my thing. Am I crying like a baby? No, I'm not, because there is a certain amount of work that black people need to do and everybody needs to do to get to where you need to be successful in life. But to act as if there's not powers that are against us. When we talk about just this year, they have been proving new scams and new things about loans in America and how they are given to black folks at a smaller amount, even though our credit score is the same, even though we might make more money than a white person. They'll get approved for that loan, whether it be for a business, whether it be for, so it's complete cap. And I would love to invite this brother on the show because we got the data.
Yeah.
We got the data. We can show you how, like, what Anna's saying and how she's retweeting a guy that really obviously is not educated enough on systematic racism in America.
Yeah, the day you invite him on the show, make sure that's my off day, brother, because and this is what I mean by not platforming these bastards. Because the idea that for him to say that systemically it doesn't exist or it's been proven that being in America, just because America is the richest nation in the world, is like saying that every vegetable in the garden, because it's in the dirt, is a cucumber. Nobody, you're the only cucumber in the pile. He's an idiot. And what I mean by that is you can't deny what it means to be black in America. And the fact that Anna chose to post this person that she probably found because he was agreeing with her against us on our video talks further about where she finds herself on this spectrum of stupidity.
Folks, Anna is lost. The unmitigated caucasity of that white Karen.
She ain't lost, Ben. She know exactly where she at.
No. She's lost in terms of the progressive movement. She's a lost cause. No pun, pun seriously intended. Let's play this. Here's why Anna posted this dude. All of a sudden, just 7 hours ago, I wonder why she posted this dude.
But Democrats don't care about democracy. See, that's the thing about these individuals that really kill me. It's like you talk about how much you care about democracy. Okay, well, if you care about democracy, you should criticize your side of the aisle for overthrowing democracy within their own party, not having a real primary, always finagling their own primaries against progressive candidates, right? This is the same side of the aisle that finagled the primaries against Bernie in 2016 and 2020, according to them. Okay. And then come 2024, hey, they really didn't even have a primary.
Okay,
and then they turned around and got rid of Joe Biden because they figured out that he couldn't beat Trump, and they still refused to have another primary.
Let them cook, young folks say.
That's not very democratic. So, it's just funny to me how these individuals claim to care about certain things, but they don't think there's any room to criticize their side of the aisle when their side of the aisle clearly is not living up to these values that they claim they believe in. Why is it that our movement is failing? Okay. Again, it's called self-reflection. It's called self-evaluation, something that clearly these individuals don't know how to do, right? And to realize, where are we going wrong? What is holding us back from pursuing some of these other policies that we feel are less divisive and that can actually benefit the American people? Now, you may disagree with some of those policies, right? But for example, it's hard to have a conversation about universal health care, okay, or all these other things that the left is for, when your whole thing is basically saying, well, if you don't agree with us on these identity issues, then, hey, we just don't want you a part of our movement, right? We just are just not open-minded to hearing you at all or having any conversation about anything else unless you agree with us on these social issues. And I think, again, smart people realizing that this type of mentality is what's holding them back. Okay? You have to be open-minded to the fact that, hey, on the left, some of these policies are out of control and they're leading to consequences that are actually bad for society, like this soft on crime agenda from the left, okay, that we see has negatively affected these liberal cities across the country.
Liberal cities.
And that's why you're seeing a lot of these progressives get voted out of office due to the fact that they capitulated to the far left in the defund the police movement, the anti-law enforcement movement. These people get voted out. They're losing. They're losing due to the extremists.
Okay, I wanted them to cook a little bit more. Go ahead. I'll play. Go ahead. Who wanted first?
Look, young brother. Just 1 second, Mondale. When you do some research, bro. I was the National Black Outreach Director for Bernie Sanders in 2016. I keep having to remind these. Look, man, when you don't do research, you end up looking foolish. I'm going to tell y'all something. Every black person that mentions the left ain't a Democratic shill. Every black person that has progressive policies ain't some kind of neoliberal that is going against Bernie Sanders. Bro, I literally was at the DNC convention when he was getting screwed over progressive policies. Are you going to mention that?
We walked out. That's how you know that serious, Marcus. We walked. All of Bernie's delegates, we walked out. We walked out of Philly. We stormed out.
It's just, to me, it's like this right here. It's an easy cop-out to me when all these people who are hating forget real progressive bona fides.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cop-out to me when people who ain't never really did progressive work to me, right? Progressive work. Put your life, your body, your career, your money on the line for progressive policies. Getting blackballed, getting not uninvited to Congressional Black Caucus events, like that pissed me off. Getting told by pastors and people down south that when I'm organizing again, you were with Bernie. I don't know if I need the rest with you. Bruh, y'all ain't, like, a lot of these cats who out here talking ain't never did no progressive work, right? Right? Like, and then here's my thing. So he brings that up, right? I did more progressive work on the left than I'm sure he did conservative work on the right. But why is there some kind of comparison or acting as if we are the people who are, why we ain't getting together? Listen, bro, I understand something very clearly. Medicare for all, Jesse Jackson, Bernie Sanders, free college, free tuition, right? Me personally, my number one policy is reparations. Number one, right? So for all you Negroes who ever talk anything about the show in the past week, have y'all pushed reparations as hard as me?
Of course they don't, man. They don't support reparations.
Level?
They don't support reparations.
Of course they don't support reparations because they think that we can get it from the ground up, and like they got it from the ground up.
Mr. Greg Foreman.
Get out of here, Cap. Man, these cats right here so full of it, bruh. They so full of it, man.
I think part of it, Marcus, Ben, is I don't think you can separate this behavior from Jink and Anna. That's why they're retweeting each other and defending each other. Because first of all, did you notice what this brother said? His body was trying to smack him. His ancestors were trying to jump out of his soul. He was like, "This is why our movement is dying."
Mm-hmm.
Conservative. How are you now associating with the progressive dying movement if you are actually saying, and you know an awful lot about what happened on the Democratic side, but you have nothing to say about what happened on the Republican side? These fake critiques are unbelievable to me. Do people know 150 million people voted in this past election, and Donald Trump has the smallest victory ever, by less than 2%? You know, less than 1% of difference between him, well, right at 1% between him and the vice president. And they talking about they have a mandate. You didn't even get 50% of the vote. That ain't no mandate. What you got was you had an entire 4 years to run for president against someone who had 104 days, who we didn't get a say in. The party gave us. And I think people forget that politics is way more nuanced than what people are letting on this Twitter and this YouTube. And I think we need to get serious about that. This idea that we're soft on crime, this lie you continue to tell yourself about what it means to live in a blue city. Look at all the blue states in this country. They're way safer than red states. Red states are taking so much money from the federal government that if New York and California stop sending, most people in red states that are on need assistance would die. Would die. This idea that red states are holding up the union or have some kind of moral code when Texas won't even extend Medicaid and letting more people be uninsured. Texas won't even let the federal government assist them with their grid, so their people electric grid freeze, and then their senators go to Cuba and stay warm or wherever he went.
Hey, I do want to. Let me say one thing, Mondale. This is a little conservative street, and I'll give it back to you real quick. I don't like Republicans and I don't like Democrats. So I just don't like them. I don't like them. I think there needs to be a different party, or I think there needs to be a reform of both parties, right? Have legitimate arguments. Absolutely the Democratic Party. I can understand how people on the South Side of Chicago don't vote Democratic. I can understand that. I can't understand it maybe at the top of the ticket sometimes, but I definitely can understand it locally. And I have to say this because I want my thoughts to be understood. Like, everybody's not perfect. Rahm Emanuel closed 50 schools in the South Side of Chicago, right? 50 schools. I was there. I was actually running a mayor's campaign while he was closing those schools down. My grandmother lives on the South Side of Chicago, 95th Street, right? when you beg administrations, two administrations, to open those schools back up, because what is a school? A school is an economic center for a neighborhood. That's what a school is. You hire teachers, you hire janitors, you hire principals, administrative staff, and you also give your kids something to do. And the only reason why they opened these schools up was for immigration. And I think that there needs to be a legitimate conversation about that. I'm not sitting up here saying deport everyone. What I am saying is you did see decreases in these neighborhoods because these folks were begging for these schools to be open. Hey, we could turn them into affordable housing. We could turn them into this, that, and the other. And they didn't do anything. And now the mayor of Chicago has to raise property taxes on Black folks because they ran out of money in the city of Chicago. So I want to be fair on Clickbaity. And I know this might start an argument, right? But at least in the city of Chicago, when it comes down to Black folks on the South Side and the West Side, I'm very careful about what I'm saying right now. Wanting to support a Democratic administration in there as a mayor of their city, I can understand why they might not. That does not give credence to supporting MAGA. What I am saying is we have to be real about both parties. That's all.
But we're gonna keep it real because I want to keep our energy towards him, towards these guys. So we ain't gonna. They have leveraged that for the benefit of MAGA.
That's fair.
For the benefit of anti-immigration rhetoric and hatred, not even just policies, but just hatred. They've weaponized that in Black communities in Chicago, all across the country, quite honestly. And they have turned the eyes of Black people away from the true problem, which is this overall system, the economic system and the white supremacist system as a whole. But they have us now pointing all of our energy to the immigrants who ain't got much about nothing more than we got anyway, right? And so now they have us doing the same thing these white folks have had us doing since time immemorial, dividing us and conquering us. We can't get Black folks to get together to oppose them. We can't get brown folks to get together with Black folks to oppose them. Why? Because they got people who they slide a little bit of change, Tariq Nasheed, to go out there and divide Black folks from Black folks. Even Tariq is dividing Black folks amongst Black folks. And so it's the same MO. So I don't knock what you're saying. I mean, especially when you mention Rahm Emanuel. There's not a Democrat that I loathe, I think, more than Rahm Emanuel. I have to really sit and think if there's somebody that I dislike more than Rahm Emanuel. And to see what he did shutting down those schools in Chicago, absolutely can understand the feeling of people in Chicago to say, I don't want to mess with Democrats no more. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? And then actually to see what Brandon Johnson has been saddled with, right? He's been saddled with a bag. It's always a Black person who's going to get caught with a bag in leadership, having to fix the mess that's almost impossible to fix. Not to mention Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis loading up the city of Chicago with as many migrants as they possibly could to actually exacerbate the situation. So if we're going to talk about it, we got to talk about it holistically. But I want to just finish letting this clown cook real quick.
But mentality is what's holding them back. Okay. You have to be open-minded to the fact that, hey, on the left, some of these policies are out of control and they're leading to consequences that are actually bad for society, like this soft on crime agenda from the left, okay, that we see has negatively affected these liberal cities across the country. And that's why you're seeing a lot of these progressives get voted out of office due to the fact that they capitulated to the far left in the defund the police movement, the anti-law enforcement movement. These people get voted out. They're losing.
Thank you, Marcus. So first of all, listen, if you are a Black man and you are making excuses for the police, I'm not even gonna say you pro-police, because I know a lot of y'all born into police families. Matter of fact, I know some police officers in my lifetime that probably would call me and say, hey, what you talking about? Fine. All right. But if you're making excuses for police and then you're going to use the white supremacist talking point, and actually it's not even just a white supremacist talking point, it's an establishment Democrat. It's funny, he's using an establishment Democrat talking point about defunding the police being the reason that progressives lost. Not all of them lost, first of all. Second of all, those that did lose lost because of why, Marcus? You've already said it. APAC. Y'all don't want to.
He sounds like James Carville. He sounds like a young Black James Carville.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's like I'm just listening to this brother and just I can't hear anything beyond. This is why I don't argue. People, that's why I don't do well in spaces, because I don't argue. I don't entertain the stupidity. Like, there's nothing this brother saying is based in facts, right? And I'm not trying to be coy or not, but I mean, like, let's be clear. He's talking about in the year that Donald Trump is appointing someone who said they want to close the FBI building and turn it into a museum. He's talking about us being soft on crime. When Donald Trump was calling January 6th, people from January 6th, and we were on air, Clickbaity was on air during January 6th, guys. I don't know if y'all remember.
Go back and watch it. Y'all should go back and watch it.
And so he's calling these people hostages and talking about within minutes, he's going to free them. Don't talk to me about soft on crime. What you're really saying is you give a damn about how black people are killed by police officers. I don't have space for this brother. And he's talking about this mentality that's holding us back. I don't really feel held back. I'm an exception. I'm one of the few black people in America that kind of squeak through, but that is luck and opportunity, luck and prepare at the same time. What I do know is this system was not made for black people to succeed. And you can try to argue that all you want to, but look at the school systems. Black boys suspended and expelled. Even when they behave like white boys, they're still more likely to be seen as mischievous or bad. Older than what they really are. Black men over sentenced, overcharged. Even when we got similar criminal histories, black men are least likely to get a job. Black men with college degrees are less likely to be hired than white men with felony convictions. Black men are the only people that are born in this country to middle and wealthy families and still likely to experience poverty. All of this is because of the system. And the last thing here I want to say, because I'm tired of hearing it, progressives are not losing. Established Democrats had a hard time, but you can't name them. A progressive that lost in the general election.
Come on,
progressives don't have any power.
We watched the establishment just spend more money than anybody else in congressional races against progressives like Cori Bush, AIPAC, right? Spend more money making it the most expensive congressional race ever to beat a candidate. But that's the cheating that they're talking about. What I'm saying is we don't lose in the general election. All of our progressives that I can call champions went back to their seats.
That's right.
The sister from Texas, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, all them people went back to their seats easily. People say things without knowing what's really going on in politics. North Carolina elected a Democrat in every statewide seat. We even picked up a seat on the Supreme Court. We didn't win this. We didn't win the presidential race here. We beat everybody statewide. We got rid of some conservative Democrats in the primary with progressive candidates. This idea is based on what sounds good and quick clicks on the internet. It ain't based in political truthness. And I can't take that. That's just why I say you can't give these people space. But I see what Anna's doing, though.
Come on, man. Well, that's why I put it right back here. I wanted to come full circle. At the end of the day, a conversation, if we so choose to have a conversation with brother man here, brother George Foreman, not George Foreman, George something is his name, Black Conservative on YouTube. If you all want to follow him, go support his little channel, whatever. That would be a conversation between black men. And a Kasparian, white behind, has you. Well, let me cook. Her Karening, her inner. Oh, Lord. Saltine. Help me, Holy Ghost. Her inner Saltine is leaping out by her going to scramble and find any black face that she can that agrees with her to pit them against us. Anna, you're a lot whacker than I ever thought, really. I actually was a fan of yours at one point, but now I'm having to question my own taste in people that I thought were good progressives. Like, maybe there's something wrong with me, because if you had it in you to do the standard Saltine technique of going to find a black face that you could put in your space to put up against other black men, then you absolutely were never down for the cause at all, Karen.
Hey, Ben, you know what? When I see this repost from her 7 hours ago, you know what I see? I can't be racist. I got black friends.
Exactly.
Here go one of them right here.
Yep. Here's right? My good Negro.
Here's my good Negro right here.
Clickbaity political. Yeah, thirst trap squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. Yeah. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let a voice be heard every single weeknight. Unapologetic. Yeah. black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily. We still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity. Yeah, squad.